No matter what area of retail you work in, loss prevention and customer safety are always top of mind. Eric White of Tyco Retail Solutions is joining us again to talk about keeping your workplace and your customers safe. Eric, always great to see you, sir.
Yeah, good to be here.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Hey, you're talking with small business owners and suppliers every week. What's the big hot topic right now?
Well, you know, the news is really unfortunate recently. We've had a number of incidents around the U.S. that are tragic, from shootings to other types of serious events inside of businesses, inside of public places. And so it's on everyone's mind. And I think for the most part, we've socialized the concepts of run, hide, fight. People know what to do in the event of an active shooter. Almost every company today has a program of some kind that is built around get out if you can, hide if you can't get out, and as a last resort, if you need to, protect yourself. And so as we continue to mature in those programs, people are beginning to feel a little more confident that they know what to do, which is really the key to success. Because the next level in the ability to respond effectively is it's personal responsibility. There's no program that I can put in a book that can replace a person's internal confidence that if something happens, I know what I'm going to do. I know how I'm going to respond. And so that next level of personal awareness that you take with you as you leave the door every day, you teach that to your kids, you teach that to your family, you talk about it in times where it's never been talked about before. And the skills that you'll see will include just being aware. So do you look at where the exits are to a building when you walk into a movie theater? Do you pay attention to how do I get out of the movie theater? And what we're terming that, and you'll hear this in the industry, is living in the yellow. If green is I'm completely ignorant of my surroundings and I don't pay attention to anything, that's not where we can be anymore in today's society. And if red is I can't really operate because I'm so worried something's going to happen to me, that's just not healthy. Yellow is that area of I'm just paying attention to my surroundings. I look at people, I make eye contact, and I'm just more aware if something's out of place.
Now, Eric, whenever we read about some of the tragedies that you're talking about there, sometimes that a disgruntled employee is involved or a former employee. What are some of the ways that you're working with HR managers and actually just their colleagues in the office to keep them prepared and look for those warning signs?
Well, look, when you dig back into the cases, the events that have happened, it's unfortunate that the one commonality that they all share is before the event, someone knew. Someone knew something. In today's world of social media, people put things on social media. People will say things to colleagues, coworkers, or people will overhear things. You really have to encourage people to speak up if they hear something that's concerning to them. They don't have to be an expert and know whether or not that person meant that threat or meant that thing they said. They just have to be courageous enough to tell someone who can determine whether it's a threat or a risk of some kind. And there's a process for that. Law enforcement goes through a process of validating a threat and understanding, does that person present a risk? And our politicians are working hard on the laws and regulations that will allow us to do even more in that respect. But today we are where we are, and we have to take responsibility for ourselves to, if we see something, you got to go tell somebody that can do something about it.
You touched on this just a minute ago. We're talking about having those conversations with our children. We're sending them to school and sending them out of the house. So as a parent, what do you advise that we discuss with our kids when we talk about being safe in a public place?
Yeah, that's not a conversation that our parents really had to have with us probably, and so a little bit of new territory. But what the experts are saying is to not exercise your kids. Don't make them so concerned about it that they can't function in school. The statistics bear out that school shootings are not inclining. They're actually at a level of decline depending on how you cut the years. And so it's really not happening more. We're hearing about it more. They're all unfortunate. One event is way too many. One lost life is way too many. But we just know about it. And so keeping it in that yellow zone of rational behavior, not overly reacting to the fact that I can't go to school, I can't function, I can't enjoy my friends, That's a starting point for the conversation with their kids. But my suggestion is, as you talk to your kid, know that the schools today already do drills. They do lockdown drills. They've always done really good evacuation drills. And so the schools are already telling your kids what to do. And so ask them. Instead of telling them, start with asking, what do you do in your school? Do you ever go to a lockdown drill? And have your kid explain why they do that. Why are you doing that? The answers are both interesting and heartbreaking when you hear a 6 or 7 year old say, well, I'm supposed to go under my disc so somebody doesn't shoot me. It's a really hard thing to hear from your kid. But emphasize that in those times, do what your teacher tells you to do and be safe yourself. Right? Do what they say, be safe, get out, I love you, I don't want anything bad to happen to you, and don't worry. It's probably not going to happen, but you be ready if it does.
Yeah, Eric's great information. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.